like love, 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 and music. La la la, love, love, love.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I am Jay Lee. This is Jay Lee's Corner, and this is my review for Love and Hip Hop New York, Season 8, Episode 17, better known as the finale. Yes, we have finally got to the motherfucking finale, because I swear this season has been going on for at least 17 years. Like, I feel like I've been watching it since I was in high school a long time ago. But I just drank a lot of water, so like I'm trying not to burp on camera, but I was very thirsty. Anywho, the reunion, for the most part, for being part one, it wasn't boring. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't boring. You know, sometimes they had these reunions, it'd be like 2 parts and 3 parts, and the first part be a whole bunch of bullshit that we don't really care about. But this wasn't that, technically. I can say when they started off with the whole Anais and Jonathan drama, I gave 0 fucks. Like, I don't care to rehash their pre-fallout before the show. No one cares about this fictional orgy that they had. No one cares. And you know, bye. Let's move on. Now Anais and Rich. What I thought about this whole part of them, you know, they go back to show how they first started kicking it. They show, you probably can't hear me because my arm is by the microphone. They show Anais like sniffing him, saying, oh, so we gonna go, you know, to the hotel, we're gonna do some grown things. They show that, and I think it showed how Anais was not carrying herself as a regular married woman, for one. And for two, I wonder how Ruben feel. This is probably his second time seeing it, because I know he probably watched the season 2, but seeing how his wife was acting like a single ass woman. Okay. I feel like everyone was kind of jumping on Rich about fucking a married woman, but Anais was the married woman. It was Anais' responsibility to be faithful to her husband. Rich had no alliance to Ruben. So even though he should not have messed with a married woman, I'm gonna give him like 2 points where he says, I was under the impression she was getting divorced. And we all know that sometimes when people are in the midst of a divorce or when they are separated, they do date other people. I think it's a difference between if she would have said, yeah, I'm married, but I'm just cheating on my husband and we got to be a secret. She did make him feel like her marriage was over, her husband knew it was over, and they were just waiting to be divorced. She did make it seem like that. So my thing is, they kept saying, well, you know she was married and you shouldn't talk to a married woman. No, a married woman shouldn't be fucking nobody behind her husband's back. Like, I don't see how no one was going at Anais. Even Navarro's girlfriend, who's pregnant, she was like, well, I just thought it was wrong for Rich to do that. Bitch, but Anais is the wife. And what pisses me off is if Ruben had been the one cheating, they would have been like, I can't believe you cheated on your wife. But because the wife was the one cheating, you gonna blame the dude. I mean, like, how y'all more mad at Rich than y'all are at Anais? And let's be honest, Rich is a goddamn creep. He been a creep all these seasons, so it's not surprising that he would talk to a married woman. But in Rich's defense, Lord, I can't believe I'm saying this, he thought she was getting a divorce. And the people going through divorce do talk to other people. Truth be told, you know what I'm saying? It was just stupid, you know. And then even Ruben saying to Rich, you know, even when you try to bring up that she had let Jacquay see her coochie, well, she did let Jacquay see her coochie. And it's the thing of how everyone is taking the antics and the things that Anais did and putting them on someone else. Why you bring up she showed her coochie to Jacquay? Why did she show her coochie to Jacquay? Why would you talk to her knowing she's married? Why would she talk to someone else knowing she's married? No one said at any point she was wrong. They kept letting her say, well, yeah, I knew I was wrong, and I love my family now, and you know, We trying to make it, we trying to make it work or whatever. And I'm like, I call fuckery and bullshit. Rich specifically said, like, I thought her and her husband had an agreement and they were dating other people, because that's what she told me. He said it wasn't until her husband came to the show wearing his ring and he was upset that I realized what she was telling me wasn't true. And for the first time in ever, Rich was right. And I'm like, but they still yelling at him as if he was married. No, she married. She's supposed to be faithful to her husband. And that's all I'm saying about that. Brie and Bianca still beefing to a certain extent, to where it's still stupid. Bianca basically said, like, I have no issue with her. However, Bree said that she was going to drag me. So the moment she said that she was going to drag me, whenever I saw her, it was on. It's on and popping. I completely fucking agree. If anyone ever says, when I catch Jay Lee, I'ma drag that bitch, when you see me, it's on sight, because I have to have my guard up, because you threatened me. So when we see each other, I gotta cut your head off. Like I have to knock your head off, because you told people you gon' you know what I'm saying, drag me. Well, okay, well, let's see. So I completely agree with Bianca for the reason she consistently goes at Brie. The thing about it is, Yandy starts talking, Yandy got a goddamn storyline saying how this show isn't about the fighting. That's not what this show's about. Since when, bitch? Since when? This Love and Hip Hop has shown the women fighting, men fighting, since the damn show started, okay? We didn't see your ass get into it with Medici's baby mamas. You can't come up here and try to play holier than thou and try to be like, this ain't what the show is about. But it's what the show is, okay? Is what the show is. And just because you have no storyline, why are you even talking? Hush it, Yandy, okay? Just be quiet, and I'm like, just shut up. And, Bianca again is like, let's be clear, let me say that for the 1,000th time. I don't have a problem with you, Brie. But if you continually throw shots at me and say things to stir me up, when I see you, it's going down. And, at that point, Remy spoke up. And I agree with Remy saying, you can't be out here saying, you're going to drag somebody and then figure like it's going to be some rules to it. Because Brie was saying like, well, I meant, when I said that, I meant we was going to fight one-on-one. I didn't mean she can jump me. And Remy Andrews was like, it ain't no rules in this. When you say something, when you threaten someone, you have to always be prepared to do whatever, because you sent the threat. When you send a threat, you can't then tell a person how to react. If you say you're going to drag somebody, her girls might come back and crack your head because you started it. Even though it's just some, little stupid social media, whatever, it gets real. And, Brie tried to hide behind the thing of saying, well, I said it, but, I didn't mean for her to have her and her friends to jump me, but you said something that started some shit and they got at you. You wasn't ready for it. You wasn't prepared for it. So you should just be quiet. And, when Remy said, like, you can't say, I'ma drag you, but, you can't jump me. You can't snuff me. That ain't how it go. And it's not. It really isn't. All fair when you try to go to war with somebody. And I think Bree said something that she wasn't prepared to handle. You know what I'm saying? And I think she has to learn from that. And, Remy even said, like, you can't threaten someone and not be prepared. And I kept wondering in my mind, like, why is Bree dressed like a damn space age street fighter? Like, she had on some goddamn the group Kiss, some Kiss goddamn platform boobs. 2 long, overdrawn, ghetto ass ponytails. One was black, one was blue. She looked a hot ass mess to me. She's like a goddamn character on either Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter, whichever one you want to do. Pick one of the two. And she's like, I feel like everyone's coming for me. Like, why is everyone coming at me? Like, I feel like I'm in attack. Sit your monkey ass down, Bree, and shut the fuck up, okay? Remy then also said her like she had a real moment saying like, you know what, when I was in prison, I wasn't worried about this rap shit. Fuck this rap shit. When I was in prison, I was thinking about, the safety of my kid, my husband, trying to keep my mind, safe, basically. She was like, so you can't be out here in these streets, popping off shit on social media, because shit get real and things happen. Meaning some things happened in her life and she wound up in jail. And she said to Bree, you only 4'11". you need to quit with social media games because you too little to even be out here trying to fuss and fight with everybody. You too little. And I can't say I agree because I'm only 5 feet, and if you push me, it's going down. Okay, it's gonna be some scrapping going around. If you put your hands on me, I'm a firm believer in you don't have to get violent, but I'm also a firm believer in if you put your goddamn hands on me, I'm gonna fuck your ass up. And I think Bree could be the same way. However, Bree seems to start shit and she can't back it up, and she feels threatened or attacked when someone goes off, when someone responds to her threats, because you threatened that girl and they got at your ass and you wasn't ready for it. So what I do like is how Brianna kept saying, like, I don't have no issue with you, just leave my name out your mouth, basically, and we can keep it moving. So yeah, Yandy in these fake ass scenes with her mama, her mother-in-law Judy, I don't even see why this has been addressed, but I guess it's because Yandy has no other storyline on the show. Miss Judy there. Miss Judy is there dressed like somebody's 35-year-old grandmother. You know how them grandmothers be when they real young, but they're grandmother, so they dress non-grandmother-ish, but they look like a grandma because they have that life. Judy looks good for her age. She does. I loved her wig. Her lace front was popping. It looked nice on her. It really did. You can tell she had her makeup done professionally. It almost looked like she may have had some work done, got some tightening or whatever. But for the most part, Judy looked great for her age. Yandy talking about how she looked, you out here looking all young and stuff. Yandy, shut up. Just shut up, Yandy. The conversation was really pointless to me. With Yandy saying the reason she was concerned about Judy and that man was because she thought the man was just using Judy and he was just a player. And honey, Judy said, well, he the player, I'm a goddamn coach, bitch. I said, what? Goddamn it, Miss Judy, girl, Lord Jesus. So we then see how Mendices had like a message for both Judy and for Yandy. Now he said about his mom and his man, he said for him, he was disgusted by seeing it. He was a little bit confused. He said, but, I was mad because I heard the man live with some woman. Judy said, yeah, he did. He told me up front that he did, but I don't care because I live with God. I said, bitch, God is your roommate. Judy, during the season, I felt like if Judy didn't have to be Yandy's fake storyline, Judy would be really funny because Judy had me cracking up the whole time, honey. She got up and did a whole little spin of her little outfit because I was dressed nice, had that good old lace front where you couldn't tell. It was a really good weave. Her face was beat to the gauds, honey. She looked great as someone's mother. She did say how, I've raised my children. I also have like 8 grandchildren, so I'm out here living my best life. And people forget, when a person has raised their children and their children are not grown and that person is now a full-fledged adult and they don't have to take care of anybody else's kids, that is when you are living your best life because you don't have any responsibility to take care of someone else. And she has every right, if she wants to be out in these streets thotting and bopping if she sees fit. She did say that she is not married. So I'm like, Yandy, if she wasn't married, why the fuck do you care? Like, care about your own goddamn husband who's in prison or your boy toy. Who the fuck knows? All I know is I'm here for Miss Judy. I wish Miss Judy would have gotten better screen time and her screen time would not have been used up having to be a fake storyline for Yandy. Miss Judy was funnier and more relatable in this little short scene in the reunion than she was all the episodes that she was in, because again, she was a fake ass storyline for Yandy. Now Mendices had a little thing for Yandy as well. So he said about Yandy, she dressed too provocatively. When he said it upsets him, she dressed as if she's going to be a video vixen or be a girl on a video shoot, and that she thinks she's still 25 years old, but she not. I'm like, well, damn. And Yandy said, well, that's what he got to say to me. And I'm like, well, girl, I guess y'all ain't got the best marriage. It is what it is. But she said, Mendices sometimes goes overboard. I don't dress provocatively. I've seen Yandy dressed in different outfits that she posts on social media. All of them are not provocative, no. But I've seen a few where if your husband who's in prison seen it, he might not like that. And even though that's how you dress when he was here, when he was out in these streets. I think it's completely different when he ain't here because he probably feel like I ain't there. So who you trying to look good for? You know what I'm saying? I think that could be the thought process behind it. But at the same time, he in prison. So it's like, he can't expect her to sit around and be a nun. But at the same time, Yandy should still think about that's still my husband. And if he maybe don't want me to show my titties while he in prison, I shouldn't show my titties. Even though I showed my titties when he was out of prison because he was here. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I think it's a different dynamic. You have to sometimes think about what that person who isn't here would want you to do. And he ain't gonna be out for 4, 5, 10 years. So whatever. The little situation between Bianca and Yandy with them saying how Yandy kind of stepped back from working with Bianca. I feel like, because Yandy said how, you should be on this show, always work on your music. It shouldn't be about you, arguing, fussing, and fighting. I call bullshit simply because, sadly, a part of love and hip hop is fussing and fighting. Not necessarily physically fighting, but the arguments of it all. It's a little bit necessary to make the things to be a little bit juicy. Now, think about what I don't like between Yandy and Bianca is Yandy is not a real mentor. Yandy is not the kind of person who will see, okay, Bianca is very, very rough around the edges, and I'm going to try to be there for her and mentor her. Yandy is the kind of person who say, well, we want to make this money, so you should just do A, B, and C. But you're not trying to really, really take her through any steps to fix herself, to fix her anger, and to teach her how not to act, to teach her how not to react. It's easy for a person to say to somebody, you shouldn't let that anger you. And you expect them to hear you that one time and just listen to it forever and ever. For some people, it isn't that easy. Bianca is a young, wild girl, and as she said, that she just doing what she need to do to protect herself, and that she get that she should not act up sometime. She said, but when someone pissed me off, I just figure I have to protect myself because that's all I know how to do. Bianca is a young girl who feels like she on her own, and when pushed into a corner, she got to fight her way out, and that's simply what it is. And she has not had a female that I know of currently in her corner to really talk her out of doing dumb shit and consistently teaching her how to be a better person. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what Bianca needs, and that ain't what Yandy is. Yandy is the kind of person who she'll say, you can rap, you got talent, let's make some money together so I can get what I get out the deal and you can get what you got to deal. But she's not trying to put in the work to fix anyone. Yandy is not a fixer. She isn't. If you give Yandy a full-fledged person who's already made it and they good, she's fine with that. But she can't fix nobody. When the going gets tough, Yandy leaves because she feel like, I can't deal with this. It's not worth my time. I'm out. She ain't trying to fix Bianca. Bianca needs a little bit of a big sister. Yandy ain't a real big sister. She isn't. Because if she was, she would consistently be there for Bianca because she realized Bianca is a young girl who need more than one stern talking to. Sometimes people need you to fix them for like a year, like a full year of you just cussing and fussing at them and just working with them to be better. You know what I'm saying? And that's what Bianca needs, and that ain't what Yandy can do. Now, when Lil Mo said, can't you just walk away? I said to myself, now where the fuck did Lil Mo come from? They didn't even introduce Lil Mo and Carl at the beginning of the goddamn episode. They popped in this. I'm like, they came out of nowhere. They went on them couches. They literally had Lil Mo and Carl pop up out of nowhere giving advice to Bianca. Where the fuck did Mo come from? I was so confused. So anywho, she do ask, like, why can't you just, ignore your people getting mad at you or whatever? And she's like, well, I just get mad. Again, because she ain't had nobody work with her long enough to get it fixed. And I ain't saying that she's innocent. I ain't saying she's justified in when she get mad. I ain't saying that. What I'm saying is that girl is young and she needs some guidance. And guidance does not include, I'm going to talk to you one good time and you should listen. It's a consistent thing. The same way people be in consistent therapy, consistent sistering can be just like consistent therapy. And sometimes that's all we need to do with some of our young females is consistently mentor them, consistently counsel them, so that it gets repetitive in their head, and they eventually get it. Because think about it, you had to go through eventual shit and eventually graduating and growing up to be who you are today. They the same way. Anywho, Pap, I feel like, came to her on some real hood shit, but how she can really understand it, because he's like, I know you from Harlem, I know you don't take shit from nobody, I completely get that. He said, but however, you have to realize that these brands, these advertisers, these people who are in the business of having you be a part of their brand, they're not going to want you to be a part of their brand if you are consistently fighting and being violent. There was a scene later where Mariah and Dream Doll was talking about their whole situation, and they both said that because of this season airing, deals they had with people fell through. Now, we might not have been big deals, but it was deals that they had that the people saw how they were acting, saw them fighting, and saw just the craziness, and it made them lose money. And they both said how they are both trying to be better people, because they realize, damn, I lost money because of me acting a plum D fool on TV. So when Pap said that to Bianca, I felt like, see, that's how people need to consistently talk to her. Like, talk to her in a way to where she get it. You doing A is gonna prevent you from doing B, and then you can't even afford C, because you are acting a fool. And it's just a consistent thing to work with her and make her be a better person. And what else? They had like a little thing where she brought up, the whole thing with her and Jonathan, when Jonathan was telling Yandy, Bianca supposed to say A, B, and C. And Bianca's like, the reason I was so pissed was because he was saying some he say, she say bullshit, and he never would tell me who said it. He then still apologized, but he still don't say who told him what. You wanna know why? Because he was lying. So yeah, we have a little short scene with Jonathan and Trent, who we ain't seen since he left. Him and Jonathan was in that damn restaurant fussing and fighting over Jonathan being married. Jonathan said how he's now legally divorced. He brought his divorce papers. Trent basically says how, even though he and Jonathan was supposed to be like monogamous or whatever, he's like, I wasn't. And when you kept calling me a sex addict, I felt like I wasn't a sex addict, because I was doing what I wanted to do. You wasn't, but I was. And which wasn't right, because you can't make someone think that y'all in this together just to be together, and you out here sucking dick on the sidelines. And that's just out here sucking the fucking air out of people. And cause like, we both sat in my room and we both deleted our grinder. And Trent said, and after that I went and opened mine back up. He said, you just didn't open yours back up. And it made Trent be a complete asshole. But I think the thing that I loved about it was he owned it. Like, he didn't lie and say, well, he told the truth about deceiving Jonathan, and he just basically said, like, I just kind of didn't care. Juju then brought up the thing of, well, it sounded as if you were just with him to be on the show. And when she said that, I said to myself, but everybody is doing something to be on the show. Whether it's you're dating someone to be on the show, because my thing is, Juju technically got on the show because she was dating Cameron. Yandy got on the show because she was the manager for Jim Jones at the time. Mariah Lynn got on the show. I don't know why she's on the show. I honestly don't. Different people have gotten on the show for different reasons. And I think, no, I don't get how people on a reality show, but like, well, you just on here for fame. But so are you. Everyone is on this show to be noticed, to be famous, and to get noticed. So his reasoning for being on the show is the same reason as all of y'all, to be on the show. He used what he got to get what he want. And I don't think that he did not care for Jonathan. I think he did. I think he just did not want to be exclusive with Jonathan. He wanted Jonathan to be a boy toy, and so he used that to be on the show. But hell, he was only on for a couple episodes, so it was what it was. We see from me and Pat, a really easy thing. They say how they are still going through the IVF, how they have a one ready. They're just waiting to basically be pregnant. So I don't know if that means they implanted it in her, because if they implanted it in her, she would know within like a month if she's pregnant. So I'm assuming she's not, because she ain't said that she is yet. But from there, we see how Lil Mo announced that she's pregnant, and I'm like, well, goddamn it, Lil Mo. So she had known she was pregnant, but then I went on IG to see, okay, I know if she on the show announcing she's pregnant, on her IG she can probably post a picture of herself pregnant. And unfortunately, I went to her IG like as I was watching the show, and she announced that she actually lost the baby and on February 6th. So, condolences to her and Carl for losing their baby. But she said they're getting through it as best as they can. So from there, Carl and his cheating and Lil Mo and taking him back. Carl just basically said like he was so used to dealing with multiple women. He was used to not being faithful. He was used to just being out here slanging that boxing dick to whoever was gonna get it, and it was hard for him to go from that to just being with one woman. And he said so it took some time for him to kind of get the multiple women out of his system. He compared it to if you smoked for 20 years and then you out the blue go cold turkey, how hard it is. I liked the comparison. However, I feel like if you're not ready to be monogamous, you shouldn't get married. I get one, Carl is young. Carl is like in his 20s. He's not as old as, Lil Mo. He's younger than her. So he might have just not been mature enough to be monogamous. Honestly, that's probably what it was, but that's not a reason to be like, well, I was young and I was just used to fucking different people, and that's why I didn't know that you should not have gotten married. Honestly, you should not have. But at the same time, I get the analogy of saying I was used to being this free wild bull, and I wasn't used to being monogamous, and I fucked up. But I love my wife, and I want to be faithful to my wife, and now I'm trying to be that way. But in the beginning, I wasn't doing all that. But then Lil Mo come up and she said, well, I ain't no saint either. I've done things. So they are a typical marriage of he's done things, she's done things, but they marriage works for them. All praises due to. And she says like, at the end of the day, he my husband and he my young bull. You know what I'm saying? That's mine. Speaking to the girl, speaking to it. The last thing that we see basically, we see Sophia the body is not there. But they do have Jacquay there and James R, of course. James R is really cute. I think it's really cute. I think it's cuter now than he was in the beginning of the season, but whatever. And we see how he initially says sorry to Jacquay for basically kind of moving in on Sophia. But he's like, he kind of felt like she was feeling him or whatever, and that's kind of why he did it. And, Jacquay, like I accept his apology because at the end of the day, he took my luggage, my baggage off my shoulders, calling Sophia baggage. He was like, he bought her a dog and it was what it was, so it's fine. And then again, Jacquay was apologizing to him, even saying how, he wasn't right for it. Now he then shaded Mariah when Mariah said, I was mad because the dog he bought her was more expensive than the little necklace he got me. And he said, because you wasn't worth it. I said, well, God damn it. Y'all beefed out. Okay. So when he said that, Mariah says, well, I'm the reason you're on the show, bitch. Well, that's true that she is. But, girl, please, we need you to stop being so angry. Mariah, stop being so angry. So from that, all of a sudden, Snoop is upset. I'm like, why the fuck? Why is Snoop upset? She in the audience, she in the seats or whatever. And she like, what's wrong with you? Buying dogs and shit. What kind of nigga is you? Da, 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 da. And she talking, and I was still wondering, like, why is she so mad? Like, why is she very, very upset with him? But remember, they had beef on the show during that last episode. They were in there together. So it could have stemmed from that. And the way Snoop was coming at him is the only reason I get what he said next. He said, you know what I'm saying? Oh, you want to be a male or a female today? You need to act like a female. And I know people gonna say, well, that was not right for him to do that, because she then says that's all you got to do is talk about my sexuality. I don't think him saying that had anything to do with her sexuality, like who she is sexually attracted to. I think it had everything to do with you are a gay female, but you very much so act or carry yourself like a man would, and you're also arguing with the man in a way that a man would argue with a man. But at the end of the day, you're a female. And at the end of the day, he can't even really argue back with you like he could a man. So I think what he meant was, you coming at me like you a dude, but you're really a female. Like, which one are you? Because I can't fight you. I can't even really argue with you because you're a female. So I don't think he meant any disrespect towards her gender, towards her sexuality. I don't think that was any kind of homosexual bashing. I think what he meant was, you are a female. You have a pussy. You do. I'm a dude. You a female or you a dude? Which one are you? Because you coming at me like you're a guy, but you're a girl. And I feel like I say all the time that women should not come at men, because men cannot hit a woman. We just can't. Now, if the woman is transgendered and she is now fully a man and she comes at a man like a man, hey, you want to be a man, then be a man. But if you are just a gay female, meaning you're still a female, you have not transitioned, and you just happen to like women, but you're a female who likes women, you're a woman. So you also should not go at a dude because he can't respond to you like that. And then she rushed the goddamn stage. That's what I mean. Because if you rush the stage and you rush him and he punch you in the fucking face, people gonna say he wrong because he hit a female. And that's not fair to men. I ain't even talking about just James R. I'm saying that's not fair to men when we as women, whether we are gay or straight, come at them in any kind of aggressive way. Because they should not attack us back, but we shouldn't attack them first. So I'm like, why is she rushing the stage? He had every right to say, you need to act like a female. And that don't mean that you can't be gay. It doesn't mean that. It just means I can't argue with you because you're a girl. You get aggressively angry with me as if you want to fight me like you're a man, but you're a girl. You're a girl. You're a female. You're a girl. You're a lady. You know what I'm saying? You just like pussy. It was what it was. And, and that's how the episode kind of went off with, a whole little ending cliffhanger. So it was a good first part reunion. I did like it. I can't wait to see next week. We're going to see some more things. I am wondering if it's just a 2-part reunion or a 3-part reunion, so we'll see that as well. Love and Hip Hop Atlanta comes on in a couple weeks. I will be reviewing that. Other than that, people, I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you have not already. Put some comments below. And other than that, I am Jaylee. This is Jaylee's Corner. Peace.